what's up, y'all? This is your boy Evergreen. Welcome to the Man Called Evergreen podcast. So this is going to be the new podcast session, I should say, for the year 2023. I wish I had done it sooner, y'all, but I got held back on a few things. But now we're going to go ahead and get started, y'all. We're going to begin with our Bible scripture, which comes from Proverbs 16:9, which reads, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directs his steps." So when I think of that kind of like basically tell me that we all have something that we want to do, something that's our heart's desire, something that we want to do, something we wish we want, But the Lord has a way of kind of like directing your steps, whether the proper steps you have to take to make it work, or He may have something better for you, because He sees that maybe what you desire ain't worth it. Take me for example. At one time, I wanted to play NFL, and believe me, I did. I was hoping that I would play college ball at my favorite school, Troy, and then go from there to play on the NFL. But as the years progressed, I learned that maybe playing at that level is not quite for me, because of the reasons why I wanted to play the NFL. Because I had a lot of doubters in the past who thought that I wasn't going to make anything for myself. And football is one of my favorite sports. And, if I get into it, I wanted to, not just to prove to myself, but also prove to others that I can play at that level, or at least, prove that I can get to there. Well, things didn't quite go the way I hoped, but God showed me another way I could become a professional athlete. So that's when I turned to pro wrestling, and then MMA, which I became a professional at that. And now my current side gig is being a pro boxer. Now I did play semi-pro ball just before I started my pro wrestling career. So at least I got that out of the way. So you could say I have some experience playing pro ball, at least semi-pro ball, after college. But we gotta understand that everything we want in life, sometimes we gotta understand that there's gonna be times we might not be able to obtain it. Because God may have something better for us, or maybe because we want it, but it's like we're not willing to like put in the hard work or effort to do it. Because I see that a lot of folks, like ever since I started doing MMA and then later boxing. There were those who heard about what I was doing. They talking about that they want to do it, but I can see. But God has granted me the vision and the experiences that I've been through already in the sports and in those two sports to see of how, or at least why, others do it. And when somebody tells me they want to do it, there could be times where I can see like they only do it because they want all the money, they want all the fame, the prestige, they want all that, but they're not willing to like start from the bottom down and work their way up to get that. And a lot of times they do it so old, they're so old to the point where they're just saying that just to get a laugh or try to make themselves important, but they're not willing to like put in the time or effort to do it. That's where a lot of your, I guess you could say, your trolls come from. They're so ashamed of, they're either scared or ashamed of trying to do something to better themselves, but they don't want to like put in the time for the effort. So what they do, they criticize those who are already doing it because they're jealous. They don't know how to deal with, people like myself or others who are trying to make their lives better, or who are capable of doing it, who are willing to put forth the time, the hard work, and effort to do it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that, your heart may want something, but God may have a different path for you if you're not in line with Him. I mean, it's good to be something more worthwhile, like a doctor or a teacher or a lawyer, or a policeman, something like that. But if you want something else well, but you want something that's not quite in line with him, well, God may say, hey, I got something better for you. I know you want that, but maybe that's not quite it because that's not my plan for you. I got something better for you in mind because you get into something like that, it's going to destroy you. And God does not want to see you get destroyed. So let's just try to remember to, make sure that what we want is in line with, is something going to be more worthwhile. Because trust me, I learned a long time ago that I wasn't meant to be in the NFL. I've seen what goes on up there and play on Sundays like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were fun when I was younger, but now as I got older, I realized that all that stuff they go through and I had to worry about getting cut during training camp, because of all the politics that go on in it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go through all that. So I'm just great. I'm just thankful that there have been other ways I'm able to become a pro athlete. So again, the verse of the day is from Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. So let's keep that in mind. So let's see what's going on. So let's talk about what's going on right now in this world today. Or at least things I've been keeping up on. So speaking of my old pro wrestling days, so Vince McMahon is now back in charge somewhat of WWE. And he practically ran out other people who were trying to make the company better, but with him back in charge, he's basically just destroying things. He's trying to pretty much break down what was already fixed because of his mistakes. And be honest with you, that's going to make things even worse. I mean, the man is 77 years old, and he still, be honest with you, if he lives to be 80, I'll be surprised. Because, be honest with you, at 77, he should be stopping right now. He should stay retired. He should be trying to concentrate on other ventures instead outside of his business, outside the pro wrestling business. And most importantly, while trying to make amends with his family. His wife, try to make amends with his wife, spend more time with his grandchildren. Stop trying to destroy things that, stop trying to ruin your business. Let me tell you, what Vince did, I've seen this happen before during my pro wrestling days on the indie scene along the Gulf Coast. I've seen this before. The very first promotion I ever wrestled for had a promoter who did somewhat similar. Whereas he wanted to run things his way, whereas he wanted his sons to pretty much be have all the spotlight, have all the attention, right? It may seem like a good idea at first, but then things started going downhill. So what did he do? He brought in a booker who can bring things back up the way it need to be. So when business go down, he brings in somebody else to help book the shows, book the stories, book the angles, and business be right back up. Everything going good. And then what does the promoter do? He all of a sudden squeezes his way back into control, changes things up, make everything go back to the way it was. And when things start going back down the hill again, it's like a repeat process over and over and over again. So I'm not surprised that something like this happened. Well, eventually that promoter, he's no longer running things. He sold his promotion to another wrestler who probably made even better than it was before. Because this promoter I'm referring to, he was also a real cheapskate. He wasn't paying all the wrestlers like he's supposed to. He wasn't paying the rent on a lot of the places that we were doing the shows at, like he was supposed to. I mean, he'll run a show over there at a certain building for maybe 6 to 8 months, and all of a sudden they'll kick him out because he didn't pay their money. So what kind of promoter would you want to work for like that? I mean, the promoter is going to do right by not just some of the talent, but all the talent. Then he needs to try to change himself for that to happen. That's one thing about Vince McMahon. He needs to change himself. I'm just going to say it flat out loud. I mean, I like his product, everything, big, flashy, and he got plenty of good talent there. I mean, he even got talent there that, well, I put it like this: when Triple H, him having creative control over the product, he knows how to utilize all that talent that Vince did not utilize when he was running things before his retirement. So I say, that okay, like Nick Khan, let him do the business thing. Let Triple H continue running things as far as creative and talent, and let Vince kind of like just pretty much let's just let him sit there and try to work out deals and try to like help keep the business going, keep WWE on air. If he has to sell, fine, okay. But what I guess Vince don't realize is that if he sells it to whomever, they'll want him out of position. They want him out. Kick him out from his position, executive chair, and put somebody else in. I won't be surprised if they put Triple H or Stephanie back in the spot because those two know the business, they know the product, they know wrestling, and know how to work the business, as far as like outside the ring. So put one of those two in there. That's what I say. So if Vince McMahon is listening to this, I'll tell you this: I love your product, sir. I love everything you've done for more than 40 years, but you should have stayed retired. You should have stayed retired. You should have concentrated on other things because, you should have kept it because it was already in good hands with Steph and Triple H running the show. So I'm just going to tell you that. So what else should I speak about? Let's try this here. How about situations where let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about that, or at least let's go a little bit different here. How about this here? Have you ever been in a situation where you had a crush on a girl, whether it's back in high school or college or whenever, and I guess they thought they were so prissy or up top to the point where only somebody at their statue or somebody who meet their so-called standards are only allowed to talk to them, or they won't accept somebody like you may have a crush on them. Because you're not up to their so-called level or standards or whatnot, and then all of a sudden, years later, you run into them to the point where they just kind of all of a sudden see that you're doing more successful than they expected. Yet you did more than meet their so-called standards, that you exceeded it, and now all of a sudden, they want to be back with you. I mean, that goes. I hate to bring this up again, Lord. I mean, I bring this back up again, y'all. But it kind of reminds me of something that happened just recently. So there's this young lady who I was crazy about back when she was staying in Pensacola. I may have said this story before, but in case you haven't heard it, I'm finna tell it to y'all again. So she was taking jiu-jitsu classes at my old school, and I was crazy about her. I get a little naive whenever I see somebody I have a crush on, And I guess they thought I overdid it. So they end up moving back to their home in Texas. And after about a year or so of just communicating, all of a sudden they cut you off with no explanation, nothing whatsoever. And years later, you try to communicate back with them, or at least try to like do it where they won't know it's you. Just look up on, and all of a sudden they find out that you look up on like on their Facebook page, and all of a sudden they just cut you off again. So I'm just curious as to why would they cut you off again if you didn't, and not give you the chance to kind of explain that you're not that same guy like you were before. That you just want to be their friend now. That's it. And basically that's what happened to me. Because I've been in that situation, that's exactly what happened to me. And now this young lady, she's doing well for herself. She got a couple of businesses in Texas that she's running, all having to deal with dogs and other pets, whether it's training them or grooming them, which I am proud of her doing that. I am. I'm extremely proud of her. But I just want to know that if she's listening, that if I offended you in any way, I apologize. I'm sorry. And I'm not that same naive guy that I was all those several years back when you last saw my face. I'm just more of a simple guy who just like to be friendly now, and just I just want us to be friends, and I'm not going be that crazy guy like I was before. And so I just want, if she's listening to this podcast, I just want her to know that. So with that being said, I also want to congratulate my boys, the Troy Trojans, for winning not just the Sun Belt Conference Championship last month, but also win the Cure Bowl in the bowl season, during the bowl season. I'm proud of my boys. I'm proud of Coach Summerall for getting them back to where they need to be. So, hey, go Troy. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at WKRG News 5 down in Mobile. That's my favorite. They already become my favorite news station. Kudos to Randy Patrick, who was the sports director and sports anchor for the station. He recently retired, so thank you, Mr. Patrick. Kudos to you for everything you've done. 43 years, that's a long time. That is a long time. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the memories. But at the same time, I want to give a shout out to WKRG News 5 and Fox 10 News. I want to give a shout out to them as well. So, hey, listen, if you want to get a hold of me for any reason, you should be up on my Facebook page or my Instagram. My Instagram going to be DMcQueen80, or under my Facebook page, which is Dwayne McQueen, DEWAYNE McQueen. So if you're one, just holler at me and whatnot, just say hello. Anyway, let me get going here. But this is your boy, the man called Evergreen. And so all I say is I'll see y'all later on the next episode. Take it easy, go with God, and straighten up and fly right.